JSON server, JSON hyphen server space minus minus what space your file name data.json space minus minus 4 space minus 3. You will start the JSON server. Next again, we'll open the VS Code under the API folder. We'll open the VS Code under the API folder. Okay, then index file we can run through live server. If this page was wait coming properly, this customer page ad was happening properly. Okay, when we go to the list, we can see the new user is added successfully. Next, after that, we'll provide a edit button. When we click on edit, it will go to the another page. In that page, we should be able to edit this name, age, and education. And after clicking on update, it will come back to this page and it will display your data is updated. You will go to the get user function. In get user function, get customer function. Function name we have get customer. Before delete, you will add one more line. Temp plus equal to. We'll open a p tag, not p tag. Side by side also we can add, or we can add in a new line. Okay, no problem. Add a p tag. We can add ahref equal to We can write here edit also, or we can create a button also if you want. Button open close and write called edit. And this button itself will become hyperlink. This button will become complete hyperlink. Button will become hyperlink, and on the click of this button, on click of this button, it will go to the another file. On click of this button, it will go to other file. What file it will be? Edit user dot html question mark id equal to, first you write edit user dot html id we will add after creating this edit user page. Now let us see, two buttons should appear, edit as well as delete. Edit button click, it will redirect to the edit user dot html page. Edit user button click, it will redirect to edit user dot html page. So here is a structure. We got one button edit, another button called delete. When we click on edit button, it will go to another file, edit user.html. That file is not exist, so it's showing the error. We will create that file, then definitely that file will be okay. So button is added, edit button. Please complete and let me know. We have to jump to the other page. From this page, we have to go to other page. Edit line. Okay, so create the next file, edit user.html, edit user.html, edit user.html. You can take the copy of new user file. You will take the copy of new user file. Take the copy of new user file. Okay. Next, after that, we need to change some information on the pregnant. Enter user details will change to edit user information. Edit user information. H1 is written. Enter user information. We can change to edit user information. Below in the last, we have a button called submit. We can change to update user. Okay. Now come to the again page. Click on edit. This page will appear. Edit user information. Whichever the user you click, same page will appear, but here data will be different. When we click on edit of assume like Ganesh, so Ganesh name, age and education should appear here. Name, age and education should appear here. Okay. Now to get the details of one particular customer, when you are in the listing page, you have all the users. But when you are going to the edit page, how the edit page will come to know which details we need to display? Based on ID. So we have to send the ID from this list, this page to, when we click on edit, it is going to edit user. Fine, let it go. When you are sending to the edit user, along with that, this ID also you have to send. So when we click here, edit user came, here in browser URL ID has to come. That is called query string. How to pass the data from one page to other page. That is called a query string. Okay. So we have written here edit user.html question mark question mark question mark id equal to id equal to this customer of id we need to pass customer.id. But since customer.id is a variable, we cannot put under the single quote, right? So we have to do again double quote. Double quote we need to follow 2 times. And in double quote we have to append the customer.id. Edit user.html question mark id equal to customer.id. Customer.id. Single quote close in the last. So here single quote start and here single quote end. Okay. Single quote start, single quote end. Next, what will happen is next it will happen like it will generate a URL where edit user.html will be the file name, and in that in ID variable it will pass a number. That number will be unique for every customer. Now how that work? Let us look at here. Go back to the list and click on edit of fourth user. You will see in the browser URL edit user.html question mark id equal to 4. This is called query string. People also ask how to pass the data from one page to other page through browser URL. Then we can say using query string. Using query string. Even if anyone asks what is the query string, then we can say when we pass the data from one page to other page through browser URL, that is called a query string. Okay, it is required everywhere. Whichever the website you are browsing nowadays, everywhere you have the concept of query string. Then you will ask how I will come to know query string used in current page or not. Click anywhere, search anything and look into the URL. File name, question mark, some value will come. That is called a query string. Okay. Right? Okay. Now next challenge is we have to receive this ID. ID equal to 4 is coming. That ID number we have to receive. Okay. After receiving the number, this number, particular number will send to the backend server. Particular number will send to the backend server. Backend server will give you the details of a user based on this ID. And those details of user you will display here. Okay, those details of user you will display here. Again, the user will do some modification and after that they'll click on update. So along with this ID, along with the ID, this information again has to go to the backend saying like user has modified certain value, please update. So based on ID, again it will get updated in the backend. Right? So this step will be two step. Number one, take the value from the backend based on ID. And number two, update the value in the backend based on ID. Okay. So come to the edit user file now. In edit user file, on load, on load. On load equal to call a function called get user info. Get user info function we need to call. You need to write a function here, get user info function, get user info, get user info. In this get user info, you will keep a alert here, call hi. As soon as you redirect to the edit user page, this function will get called. That is called get user info. And this function will send one request to backend after receiving the ID. So the next challenge is how to receive the URL value in HTML file, in JavaScript file. When we are onto this file, whenever we'll come to this file, alert will come. See, I went here, click on edit, it came to this file and alert came, correct? The function is executing. Now this challenge is to receive this value, ID value. For that, let me find out something, easy method from internet, how to receive the query string in the JavaScript. How to receive query string from query string in JavaScript. Okay, so many solution will be there, but which solution will fit it with our requirement? We will check. Target is to receive the value from browser URL. That should not be okay. So this is the URL here. This value we want to receive. Location.search is suggested. Okay, good. So this function look like useful. Name is, so we require this. Const the value of okay, right. So this will look like simple method. 8 minutes and implement once. Query params.get. So where is the query params? This is the line. Hopefully this should work. Location.search. This is called ID. Here also I print call ID. Let me alert the ID. Coming or not. ID is coming how much? 3. I went back and click on 5th unit. When I come back, so getting edit college how much? 5. So this line you can write. I'll share in chat also, but if you are offline, you can have a do that. Simple line only. Query params equal to new URL search params window.location.search. Okay, then are you getting the ID? Okay. Next, after that, this ID we need to send to the server. I will add this URL somewhere. So this ID we need to send to the server now. So let's write here fetch function, and in fetch function we have to pass the URL. Then it will ask where is the URL. So we have to create here, let URL equal to http://localhost. I think in this file already you have URL on the top. You can copy that variable and paste here URL. But simply URL will not give you the details of the particular user. You have to write URL slash plus this ID. So we are calling the URL, but while calling the URL, we are appending a ID. We are appending a ID. Now, based on this ID, the fetch function will get the details of a particular user if it is exist under the backend. So fetch function URL dot then again response from the backend. Response should get converted into JSON object. Next, after that, you need to get it back in the array. User info I'll write here. Now alert user info dot name. User info dot name. So whichever the edit you click, that particular user name should come as a alert. Particular user name will come as a alert. Okay. Now let's click on, see, I have clicked on user number 5. Let me go back. User number 1 edit I'll click. We'll get the name called Ganesh. So details of user we are able to get. Now these details of user should display inside the page. So these 3 lines I have written here to set the value as empty. Copy that line. Here. We are setting as empty now. Fname my age you are setting as empty. So in the next function you have to send some value. So value equal to user info dot name. User info dot name. Next value equal to user info dot age. Age. Again next value equal to user info dot edu. User info dot edu. User info dot edu. Name is edu. So according to ID from the server, based on ID from the server, details of user will come. That details of user you are converting into a single object that is called user info. And inside the user info, you will get a property called name, age, and edu. These properties are available in your JSON file. Those property we are assigning to value property of fname, my age, and my edu. It should look some, see, looking here. If I go back and click on Nares edit, see here, go back, click on LX edit. Okay, one is not coming. Look like that value is not matched there. Edit LX MC is matching. Right, you can see. So now let me know for how many people values are here. I will share you this get user info. I sent you complete file. You can take it. Complete function. You have written uppercase, lowercase mismatch. Here I'll guide you. First, show me the list where you are displaying the list. Not this file, list file. Go back to the list. Index.html file. Name is ID. Okay, EDO. Come to that page now. ID was coming as an alert. Yes. Name was coming as an alert. Yes. No. Name alert. You should give here slash, no, user list slash. In URL, user list slash. Because it is going user list 4, user list 5. It should go user list slash 4. Okay, user list slash, that's called URI segment. So slash is missing, then server will not get the proper request. So it will come as undefined. Difference. The ID should come now. Value should appear. This line you can keep with you. This line will help you later also. Okay, when you redirect from one page to other page, in simple way, how to get the value from the browser URL. If it's not matching, go back. Click on this. Click on this. Go back again. Add a new user. Add a new user. New user. So I will show in this one server that is not matching with the drop down value. In drop down, you are displaying some value, right? That value is not matching with the what values exist already. It will match, then only it will display. Like suppose in my drop down here, what is there? BCA, MCA, BTech and MTech, right? Now when I go to my list, I have here in list BCA, MCA, BTech and MTech. When I go to the list, I have one value called CA. That CA is not in the list. If I click on this CA, what will happen is, it will come non-selected. See, select is coming now because CA is not exist in the list. CA is not exist in the list. If CA will be there in the list, auto selection will happen. If CA is not exist, then it will not get selected. Same time, if I click on BCA, you can see BCA is exist here, so auto selection happen. We are just assigning the value from here. Can you see here? Fname dot value equal to particular, myage dot value particular, myedu dot value particular. So you are just sending the value to the myedu ID. Now in myedu ID there is multiple option. Whichever the option will match with the value, auto select. We don't have to write anything extra code for that. Just only the value should match. Okay. So this happen. From one page to other page you went and your value displayed under the edit page, right? Now what is the logic in this? You understood or not? Let me come to the page again. In this page we are getting the data from server. Every entity have a unique number. Every user have a unique number called ID. Now when you wanted to see the details of this particular user, modify the particular user, then you created another page, correct? And you redirecting from this page to other page. But when you are redirecting, how other page will come to know which user you want to edit? So to do that, we are passing the ID from browser URL, that is called query string. Now when we came to edit page, we found some solution how to receive the ID. So we found the solution, and then after that, after capturing the ID, that ID again we are sending to server, saying like check this ID exists. If exists, then provide me the details. Fetch function send the request, and from there whichever the data came, we store in the user info variable. So user info will have ID, will have name, and will have age. Correct? Exact same value. That value you displayed under the list. Exact same value. Name, age, and then edu as well as ID. Four property will be there. In that we taken three property and we assign to the fname, my age, and my edu. When we look down, we have a my f name, fname. We have called my age, and we have called my edu. Correct? Now condition will be user will modify something. Condition will be user will modify something here. 20 they'll convert into 25. Naresh they'll convert into ABC. Or may they'll modify here. Education they'll convert into MCA. And they'll click on update user. So for this user number 5, now the details has to change in the backend. So again on button click, we have to send a request to backend. Saying like these all are the user information and this is the ID. Check in server if this ID is exist, then change the name, change the age, and change the education. The backend server will check if the ID is matched. Whatever the information you are giving, it will get updated. That is called how to update the value. Okay. So come to the code. Button click which function you are calling. Save. Let's change to update. There is no any specific reason, but the function should have a proper name. Okay, update info you can write. Update user, we wrote update info. Update user button click, you are calling update info. Now come up. You have a function called save user. We have already a function called save. Change to update info. Changing the function name is not going to update the record in the backend. Keep in mind. Okay. Still, this function is written based on post method. It will create a new record. It will create a new record. But our requirement is instead of creating the new record, it should update the record. Correct. So again, when you will ask the server to update the record, server will ask you which user you want to update. Give me the ID. Correct. Give me the ID. Now look at here. ID of user you are receiving under which function? Get user info. Again, this same ID we required under the update info. Correct or not? Update info also need ID. Then only it will update. Now this ID is available under the get user info. We have to make this variable is a global variable so that we can access anywhere. Clear? Now look at here. What we are written? We are written called const. Const represent once you assign, you can't change it. You cannot change it. So remove the const from here. Let it be only ID. Okay. Remove the const from here. Let it be only ID. Next, in the beginning of the script, so hope you modify, remove the const. In the beginning of the script, you have to create a let id, let id just a variable. Let id just a variable. What is the value of I? Undefined. By default is undefined. There is nothing inside. Correct? But once the page will load, we can update the value of let variable. Okay? We can update the value of let variable. So by default, this variable is undefined as of now. Once the page will load, get user info function will call. Get user function will receive the query string. It will find out the particular arguments, parameter, and that parameter value it will receive, and that will assign to where? ID. What was the value of ID by default? Undefined. Now what will be the value of ID? 1, 2, 3, 4, anything? Correct? Now this ID becomes a global variable. You can access under the get user info also, as well as you can access under the update user info also. Clear? So if we'll write here let or const here only, so what will happen? You cannot access that variable under the update info function. So we made that variable as a global. Out of the function we wrote, so function variable become global so that function 1 also can access and function 2 also can access. That is the one logic. Next logic is when the user will click on update button, this function will call. This function will take the value from text boxes. This function will create an object, complete user information, and this function will be posting this user details to this URL. Correct? So when you are posting to this URL, because you are not creating the new, you are going to update. So user list slash this ID has to mention. Then the server will understand, oh, user information came along with the ID. Then server, instead of creating a new record, server will think, okay, I need to update the record. Okay. So we given the user new details also as well as ID also. Below, while doing the header settings, we have to inform to the server what to do. Create a new record or update the existing record. Update the existing record. So to update the existing record, we have two options. One is called this one, called as a put. Using put, we can update. Okay, using put, we can update. Now, when we have written put, then how many value will update? Will it update all the value or certain value? There is a two option, put and patch. Using put also we can update, and using patch also we can update. Now two scenario. While updating, we have two options. How many? Put and patch. What is the meaning of put? Let me go here. I came to the list and I click on edit. Okay. And for this narrates user, I'll modify only age. Only age. So how many value we modified? Only one. Only one. Now you modify only one. So in the backend also, how many should modify? Only one. But if you are using the put method, whether you change the value or you don't change the value, no matter, all the value will update in the backend. Okay, I change only one, call it age. But when I use the push method, it will update the name also, age also, education also. Which method? Put method. But if you use the patch method will compare what are the changes are there. Like suppose I have changed only the age. So patch method will not touch the name. It will not touch the education. It will update only age. Patching kind of work. Instead of replacing entire, only modify the certain area. That is called as what? Patch. Right? So that is the difference of put and patch. By default, when you use the fetch method, that's called as a get, fetching the data. When you are posting, you have used the post, that you are creating new user. Yesterday we have seen delete. While deleting, we are using the delete. Now while updating, what you are using? Either patch or update. Two options we have. So get, post, after that delete, after that patch, and then put. Correct? This is how many methods? 5 methods. Correct? Okay. So put we will add here or patch, your wish. Okay. Now put or patch you add here, but don't forget to add the slash here, because slash is required. URL slash ID. Else URL segment will be wrong and server will not identify. Coming down, we have written save successfully. We need to write updated successfully. Updated successfully. Full name plus updated successfully. Let's no need to add the ID and on. But full name I will get. Okay, full name anyhow we are getting. Remove this ID. No need to put the ID. Just full name plus updated successfully. Full name plus updated successfully. Using JavaScript and JSON server, you can create a dynamic application. Now we got 4 methods now. If you want to store, you can use JSON method, JSON server. Now receiving the value, sending the value, get, post, put, update, delete. Correct. Now displaying the data, it's our own wish how you want to display. Correct. Okay. Now let us come. So you added, updated successfully. We'll test now. So we'll go to the list, and in list we can take any user. Suppose I take in Ganesh. He was 40 years. I'll modify to 45 years. And BCA I'll convert into the MTech and update. It says Ganesh updated successfully. I should go to the list and see Ganesh age is changed or not. Age is changed to 45 years. I'll go to this Alex, because CA value is not matching. I'll make him as something BTech, and 30 years I'll modify to 31 years and update. Alex updated successfully. Back to list. Alex 31 years and then as a BTech. If I go to edit, I should see the previous file. Since it is updating under the backend, under the file system, under the database, you can consider. Check now. Update is happening for how many people? Update will work properly if your save function was working. If the save function was not working, update will not work, because the save function only we have modified to update. Let me try to send you this code. Complete function I sent you. Complete function is sent in your chat. Please check that. Another question is, when we are coming back to this list, like suppose we went to edit, we modified something, an update happened, When we come to list, by default is showing home page. We can call this function no? Customer list. In index file, on load, you can call get customers. In index file, body on load, you can call the function called get customer. In index file, body on load, you can call the function called get customer. So when you come to that file, by default, it will show you the list of the users. So this becomes a CRUD operation using JavaScript and API. Okay, becomes a create means post, R means read, that is called fetch. Okay, U means update, D means delete. Become a complete CRUD operation using JavaScript and JSON server. So when you come to this page, which one is coming? By default list is coming. We can modify the value, update, and back to the list. We can see that value and that's our paper. You can also do that. Edit and delete we can keep in one line. Okay, but the code will become very long. Code will become very long in one line. Their JavaScript code will be complex for you. Let it be. It's okay. Right? Okay. So now next after this, we will move from the API folder to other folder. Other folder we have called class object. Inside the class object, again, we need to understand how to write the JavaScript code using the class object. Object oriented, how to implement using JavaScript. How to auto update ID after deleting. ID you cannot update. ID will not change. Suppose if I delete the user number, this Alex, fourth one, okay, 4 will not come again. If I add the new, 4 will not come here again. That is the unique identification number of server. Unique identification number of server that you cannot change manually from here. So I added here. If I go to the list, I cannot see the fourth ID. I will get which one? Fifth ID. When you get a mobile number, when you take a SIM card, correct? If you will not use for 6 months, 1 year also, that number will not allocate to someone else. Once the company will come to know completely for 1 year, 2 year you are not using, then only it will get allocated to someone else. That is also a kind of ID only. Okay, it is auto generated and it will not be duplicate. Okay, until unless they will not modify manually or that particular number they will not release to some new customer manually. Correct? That number will not get allocated. Okay. When you create an account in Facebook, you will have a unique ID. Whether you are using or not using, even your profile will get deleted also. That ID will not get allocated to someone else. Create a Gmail account. If your ID get blocked also, that ID will not get allocated to someone else. Correct? Those all are the rule of normalization. Normalization come from where? Database. Okay. The codes. The person name was called codes. He created the rules for database. 12 rules. While designing the database, we have to follow the total how many rules? 12 rules. That's called Boas code normal form. Okay. Boas code normal form. His name was Boas code. Okay. And he made a rule for normalization of database, how to manage the database, how to store the data in database, how to create a normalized database. Correct? So this entire what formula use the PAN number, mobile number, email unique ID, all are based on that normalization formula. Okay. 12 rules are there. In that first rule says every entity must be unique. First rule, every entity must be unique. So unique word whenever it come, if you know that rules, your mind will go directly 12 rules. Okay. Okay. That's fine. Right. Okay. So next after this, we have to work on which folder? Okay. But I am expecting that other task. Which task? See in this, the JSON server, what you have, user list I implemented. I have asked you to do this one. Which one? Book list, saving, listing, updating, deleting, Similar way, company list, saving, listing, updating, deleting. If you do that, no, your confidence will become double, 100% guarantee. Okay, and when you go under the React, you will not ask why I am writing this line. It will be the replacement of JavaScript skill through the React. When you go to the Angular, you will not feel this is line for what purpose. When you become, if you are a Java developer, you pass the value from one page to other page. In your mind, this question will not come. What is the meaning of question mark in URL? Or whenever you open any website on internet and you search and click on enter, and then you type anything and search, or maybe click here there, and browser URL will keep change, value will get changed. You will never feel like why changing. You will come to next college query string. Okay. So knowledge is required. The person who made Facebook, he has given the SP saying like all the citizen, all the citizen who have the at least who are more than 8 years, 10 years, okay, who know how to operate the system, they should know HTML coding. They should know the HTML coding. Remaining language will leave it. But the people who know how to operate the system, they must know the HTML coding. Because in the future, many things is going to come up, right? So their basic web application knowledge is required. Okay. Okay. So it's anyhow, it's your wish only. My duty is to just give you the guidance. I'll not force to do, but if you do it, helpful. Okay. Okay. So let's look into the next folder that we will implement from tomorrow. This one called class object. In class object also we will understand first how to create the class, how to create the object, multiple possibility of class object. After understanding those class object related, in that again we will use the fetch API where under the class object. If you want to communicate with the server and JavaScript code is based on class object, then how it will be, how the fetch function will work there. Okay, so there we'll implement. Then after finishing this task, we'll go for Ajax. In Ajax also you will use this one. Which one? JSON server. Ajax is also made for the same purpose what we are doing in API. So API is called modern programming and Ajax become little traditional programming. In API we communicate from the within the server also and out of the server also. And in Ajax we communicate always within the server. Ajax is always to communicate within the server and API is to communicate within the server as well as out of the server. Okay, so that will take some time. So let's see you tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow is which day? Tomorrow is the Saturday, right? So we'll have class on Monday next. By then, sufficient time we have, and these two things hope you will do. Book list, name, price, quantity, author, for value. Save, list, edit, and delete. You can take the example of which one? User list. How we are creating the JSON. When you come to the company name, city, total EMP, correct? Revenue, for value we can add. And then save, list, edit, and delete. And then